Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celiac Global Network. Today, we're diving into a topic of functional medicine. To treat celiac, there isn't a cure. There's no medicine. It's just a gluten-free diet, but it doesn't guarantee to keep us fully healthy. It brings its own challenges on the digestive front, the nutrition front, and of course, mental well-being. So, what are other ways to keep ourselves healthy? As I was researching this, I came across functional medicine, and I'm so excited to tell more about this to the celiac community, which is why I'm joined by Ms. Deepa Rajani today, who is a certified functional medicine health coach from IFM USA. Hello, Ms. Deepa. How are you? Welcome to Celiac Global Network, where my aim is to raise awareness about celiac disease, advocate, and share new advancements.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Deepa Rajani, a health coach for celiacs and a personal growth mentor. Thank you, Vara, for having me. It's lovely to connect with you. I've been looking at the work that you do, and it's amazing at such a young age. You've empowered yourself with connecting and doing things for the celiac community. It's nice to connect with you. So I think I need to start at the very beginning. Why did I become a celiac health coach? So my journey with celiac started nearly 17 years ago now. And I was diagnosed with celiac disease after I delivered my second baby. After coming home from, delivering a newborn, having a newborn baby, I suddenly had a lot of digestive issues. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I went back to the doctor and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So after suffering for like more than 4 months, I had to go in for an endoscopy because my throat was very constricted. And when I went in for an endoscopy, that is when the doctor told me that you have celiac disease, a word that I heard for the very first time. So of course, I asked the doctor, what does that mean? And he said that you are intolerant to gluten. Again, a word I think I heard for the very first time. And he went on to explain to me what celiac disease is, that your villi is damaged and your body cannot digest gluten and gluten-based foods. And you need, so of course, my next question to him was, how can I cure it? Don't we all, the first thing you want to, of course, you're diagnosed with something, you want to look for the cure or the solution. And the first thing I asked him, okay, what's the cure? And the only thing he told me was there's no cure, and the only cure is a lifelong gluten-free diet. Now, again, that was a word that I heard for the first time. He also told me it is an autoimmune disorder. Again, a word that I heard for the first time. So there were so many firsts, and it was so confusing and overwhelming. I think quite a few of us over here must have felt the same way. Vara, what do you have to say about this? When you heard this for the first time, please tell me what were the emotions you felt or how did you feel?
Yeah, so I actually was diagnosed when I was 4 years old. So I was very,
Wow,
very young.
that was too young. Yeah,
Yeah. But I think my parents, they were obviously very shocked because it was the celiac disease that they heard for the first time. So I think it was the same reaction like that my family had.
absolutely. So, that's one of the reasons that I said, I suffered for many years and I didn't know how to help myself because there was not a lot of solution given there, digestive issues, nutritional deficiencies, and I had literally didn't know what to do about that. So until 6 years later, my daughter, who was born when I got celiac disease, she was diagnosed at the age of 6.5 years. She was suddenly not keeping well, had lost a lot of weight. Of course, I went in for a checkup, and my worst fears had come true because she was diagnosed with celiac disease and autoimmune hepatitis.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was told that she has to be on steroids for life. Now, that was really, really, shocking for me. It was something that I wasn't ready to accept. I went to look for cures. I went to Ayurveda. I went to homeopathy because I didn't want to put her on the steroid. And of
Yeah.
course, nothing helped. And I didn't have a choice. I had to put her on the steroids. And the minute I put on the steroids, she wasn't keeping well. It did not suit her. Within 3 days, she was in the ICU. And I was really, really upset. And I wanted to find a better solution. And that's when I really prayed. I really prayed that there has to be another solution. I truly believe that there is a higher power that is always guiding us. And I appealed to that higher power to get me a solution. And 3 days later, of course, she was back home. We started her on the steroids again with a smaller dosage, and we went on to increase the dose later. But that is when I was looking for solutions, is when I came across functional medicine. And I will get into what functional medicine is all about in a little bit. But when I came across functional medicine, it gave me an idea about what happens, like why is something happening, and it gives you a solution. It gives you a solution how to heal something. So I simply started applying everything that I was learning in functional medicine. I started giving her the nutrient dense diet. I started giving her the supplements that were being guided to be given to her, so that the body can have all the raw materials that it needs to thrive. And by God's grace, we were able to get her off the steroids in 1 year, 9 months. And
Yeah.
I was so grateful to God because I had found a solution. I had made up my mind that, not that nothing is going to ever allow me to give her those steroids for life. And my prayers had been answered. So I was really, really grateful to the higher power for guiding me to functional medicine so I could find a cure for at least the autoimmune hepatitis for my daughter. She is celiac, she is on a gluten-free diet, but at least we could get her off the steroids. So I truly believe that every challenge is actually a blessing in disguise, because I was suffering with my own health issues for so long without a solution. Now, finally, I knew that I could find a solution to my own challenges. So that's why I really, want everybody to understand what functional medicine is all about, and I want to help, bring it out into the mainstream, especially with celiacs, because we face so many challenges as a result of celiac disease. And I always say this: celiac disease may not be curable, but the many symptoms you face as a result of being celiac can all be cured. And it's about understanding your body,
Yeah.
understanding what your body needs. So that is my main aim today, sitting with Vara, to spread the word, to spread the awareness. So that was my story, Vara.
No, it's truly inspiring, and I totally agree with you on that. So, tell me about functional medicine. How does it work, and what factors does it deal with?
So, functional medicine is a science-based approach which
Yeah.
goes to the root cause of diseases. I truly believe for every every challenge or every problem that you have, there is a cause. And in India, we say हर चीज का एक कारण होता है. So there is a cause for everything, and if you take care of the cause, the effect does not remain. So
Yeah.
functional medicine goes to the root cause of anything, a chronic disease. Why is it happening? What is the reason your body is not thriving? uh, so there are many reasons that can be causing your challenges, especially in the case of celiac disease. Our villi gets damaged and we are not able to digest our food properly. We are not able to absorb nutrients from the foods we are eating. Now, what can we do about that? So there's lots that can be done about healing your gut. It's about giving your body the nutrients that it needs so that your body can thrive. Once your body has the right nutrients, then the body heals itself. When the body has the right nourishment, it is able to, repair itself. And that's what functional medicine taught me. So I truly feel that functional medicine helps us to understand the root cause of why something is happening.
So, going in with the functional medicine approach in celiac disease, several of the issues are digestive, such as gas, bloating, and acidity. So, how can one heal that?
Very good question, because I think most of us, when we are first diagnosed with celiac disease, we stop eating gluten, we take gluten off completely, and we're still facing bloating, we're still facing gas, acidity, so many different symptoms, nutritional deficiencies, and you don't know what to do about that, right? But understanding what is causing your digestive issues, the fact that the villi is damaged, how can you heal your villi? Well, there are nutritional supplements that help you to heal your villi. A simple supplement like L-glutamine helps to helps to improve the gut lining that is damaged. Uh, Simple thing like taking a digestive enzyme with your meals helps you to digest your meals better. For the longest time, what happens with the celiac is that if I eat this, it's going to cause me bloating. If I eat that, I'm going to get gas. If I eat this, I may get diarrhea. So whether
Yeah.
it's dairy, whether it's protein, whether it's fiber, we stop eating all of these things because we're worried about the symptoms we're going to be facing if we eat these things. So we stop eating those things and we try to, sort of keep narrowing our diet down, which can be really harmful in the long run. I faced the same issue, with the bloating, gas, acidity. I stopped eating fiber because, I could not eat those leafy greens or green vegetables. Again, any protein, if I had to eat, if it was heavy to digest, it would lead to symptoms. So I stopped eating those. So in general, you'll end up eating, just your dal, rice, your basic subsies. You avoid a lot of things. And that leads to a lot of nutritional deficiencies. And that is not good in the long run because it has a lot more side effects. Your body is not getting the raw materials it needs to thrive. And then again, we don't take in the right nutritional supplements to supplement that. So that again further exacerbates the problem. So that is one of the main challenges that we as celiacs need to understand how to eat right, how to give our body the right nutrients. I think that's something every celiac should understand.
Yeah, and then how do you differentiate between symptoms caused by celiac disease, IBS, leaky gut?
So the good thing about functional medicine, because it's a science-based approach, it gives you a step-by-step guideline. So,
Yeah.
obviously the first step is obviously doing detailed blood testing. We look at the different inflammatory markers. We look at fecal calprotectin. We look at your, of course, your CBC profile, your liver profile. We see where we do a detailed gut microbiome testing also to see how your gut microbiome is. So looking at those markers, we are able to make out and differentiate between the where the symptoms are coming from, whether it's because of celiac disease or whether it's IBS or it is some, depending on the inflammatory markers that are high, we can sort of gauge where is the problem coming from.
Yeah, and then you mentioned gut microbiome. So what role does that play in managing celiac disease symptoms?
Oh yes, that is something I think one of the best things I learned in my functional medicine is understanding the gut microbiome. Vara, just out of curiosity, have you ever heard about the gut microbiome before? In in the last few years, more in the recent years, you must have had heard the word gut microbiome. Have you heard it otherwise?
No, actually haven't. It's not
Yes.
it's not well talked about.
Exactly. So I just feel it is something that we all need to understand. We are made up of bacteria. We are
Yeah.
more bacteria than actually we are human. Every single cell in our body has bacteria. And this bacteria is what literally rules us. It literally heals us or inflames us depending on the gut microbiome that we have in our body. And I would like to explain what is gut microbiome. Basically, our body is made up of different bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. We are literally composed of all of those things. And in India, we also say, right, we are made up of earth, water, sun, light, all of those things, right? We're made up of the elements of the earth. So that is who we are. And we somehow have forgotten that. And the gut microbiome is literally an integral part of us. And so understanding what the gut microbiome can do for you is something that's going to really help all of us, um, you know, heal better, feel better. So when I studied and understood what the gut microbiome can do, it was fascinating because as a celiac, what I realized is that most of us are facing something called gut dysbiosis. What is gut dysbiosis? It basically means the imbalance of the good and the bad bacteria. Um, when we don't eat right, when we don't eat enough fiber, when we don't have enough nutrients in our bodies, it gives the bad bacteria a chance to grow in excess. So that is called gut dysbiosis. So another word I'm sure you guys are hearing for the first time, maybe some of you have heard of it. So with celiac, that's what happens. Our gut microbiome is compromised and we face something called as gut dysbiosis, which again leads to a lot of inflammation in our body. It leads to a lot of toxicity in our body and it causes a lot of our symptoms that we may be facing. When it comes to bloating, gas, acidity, IBS, IBD, skin acne, so many different things are mainly caused due to a gut dysbiosis. In functional medicine, we also call it as a leaky gut. When your villi are damaged, it allows toxins to flow into the bloodstream. And that is called a leaky gut. When toxins flow into the bloodstream, it can lead to inflammation for different people in different ways. And that is again one of the causes of the many symptoms that we face as a result of being celiac. And all of these, I mean, I know I'm talking about a lot of challenges, but all of these can be healed when you know how to heal. And understanding, what is the cause of it, we can heal all of these symptoms. So I don't mean to scare you, but understanding your gut microbiome, healing your gut is one of the major things that one can do to live a symptom-free life.
I'm really curious about the exact foods that lead to the gut dysbiosis. I think when I was researching, I found about sugary foods contributing a lot to this. So what are the foods that we should avoid as celiac patients?
Really good question, Vara. As celiacs, we tend to eat a diet that is really lacking in fiber and protein. We tend to eat a lot of carbohydrates because we feel they're easier to digest, and it gives us lesser symptoms. So I truly believe that one of the major causes is eating all the processed foods, the sugary foods, foods that are lacking in nutrition, a high carbohydrate diet. I think, all, and of course, if someone's drinking alcohol, if someone's on high caffeine, because we are tea and coffee lovers, all of that can really cause a lot of challenges when it comes to, issues in celiac disease.
Yeah, we talked about the foods that we should avoid, but what about the foods that we should eat? What should a diet look like for a celiac disease patient?
Well, the one thing that I really learned is to eat a balanced diet is very important to reduce inflammation in the body. So in functional medicine, we eat something called as a rainbow diet. A rainbow diet is simply a diet that has a wide variety of color in it, because every color of food has its own phytonutrients in it, which is essential for a body to thrive. So when there are red color foods that are great for your eyes, you have white color foods, you have green color foods. So every food and every phytonutrient has a role to play. So we look at eating a rainbow diet that is high in a lot of vegetables, high in fiber, a lot of protein in your diet, because again, proteins are the building blocks for your body. And of course, carbs, because it gives us energy. Carbs is of course essential. So you need to eat everything in balance. You eat, and of course, good fats. That's another thing that, the myth was that fats are bad for you. Fats cause cholesterol. But let me tell you, it is not the fats that are causing your cholesterol. In fact, it's a high carbohydrate diet that leads to a fatty liver. A non-alcoholic fatty liver is caused due to a high carbohydrate diet, and not due to the fats. But today we are eating all the wrong fats. We are eating seed oils, which are highly inflammatory. When you eat a lot of fried foods, fried in your groundnut oil, in your sunflower oil, in your rice bran oil, that is highly inflammatory. What we need to go back to is our ancient ways of eating. You need to eat food that is cooked in ghee, olive oil, coconut oil. These are all the good fats, which is essential for your brain function. Fats are something that your brain thrives on. So you need good fats for your brain function. So eating a diet that is balanced in all of these things is a great diet. Also in celiac disease, when we want to heal symptoms, we put people on an anti-inflammatory diet. So there are a lot of foods that one needs to avoid temporarily. It's not a permanent thing. You go on an anti-inflammatory diet for say a month, depending on, of course, how much inflammation is there in the body. So of course, we eliminate things like alcohol, we eliminate things like caffeine, dairy, because dairy can be inflammatory. Dairy can cause a hormone imbalance. If you don't have enough enzymes to digest the dairy, it can cause you a lot of gas, bloating, and diarrhea and different symptoms. So we eliminate foods that are highly inflammatory, processed and sugary foods, of course, because that's one of the major causes of inflammation. And of course, we reduce the carbs we are eating so that we can eat more of the nutritious foods. So we sort of eliminate all of these foods, and then we can go back to eating the balanced diet that we spoke about, the rainbow diet. So I think that is a great way for a celiac to start healing themselves.
Okay. And what role does probiotics, prebiotics play in the diet? Should we take
Yes,
them?
of course. So again, something that I heard for the first time, prebiotics and probiotics. I think it's become famous in the last few years, and they have such an important role to play in our diet. Of course, you can get prebiotics and probiotics from food. But in case you are lacking in nutrients, we do give them as supplements. Okay, let's understand what are prebiotics and what are probiotics. So prebiotics are food that are indigestible by the body. Prebiotics are foods prebiotics are food for the probiotics, for the good gut bacteria. So that's why intaking foods that are rich in prebiotics are an important for our bodies, so that we can increase the good gut microbiome in our bodies. Example of prebiotic foods is, something like onions and leeks and bananas. There are a lot of apple. Anything with fiber is a prebiotic food. Anything that is high in fiber is a prebiotic food. So anything with fiber is very important to add into our diet, because it's going to increase the good gut bacteria. When probiotics are nothing but the good bacteria. In recent times, they've discovered a series of probiotics that are great for health. Different probiotics play a different role in enhancing our health. Some probiotics are great for digesting our food. Some probiotics are great for healing inflammation. So some probiotics are great in healing the gut lining. So every probiotic plays a different role, and maybe in the future we can do a separate episode where we can talk about the healing properties of different probiotics. So basically, they are mainly divided into lactobacillus and bifidobacterium bacteria. So these are the two main strains, and they have a lot of number of subcategories in them, which we can get into details at a later time. So that is what
Yeah.
prebiotics and probiotics are. They help you digest your food better. They help you improve your immune system. They help you improve your mood. They help you heal the gut lining. I mean, the benefits of probiotics are various. They help you in cognitive health, in memory, in so many different ways. So that's how probiotics can be essential. And if you are lacking in those probiotics, if you have gut dysbiosis, these may be some of the symptoms you may be facing that I just mentioned.
I think you mentioned earlier about mental well-being. So could you talk us through the importance of mental well-being?
So that is something I really want to talk about. Actually, I'm going to mix two topics over here. When I talk about mental well-being, um, like I said in the beginning, I feel that when we go through a challenge, when we are faced with a diagnosis like celiac disease, I think it creates a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. And many times people are not able to overcome that because they are so worried, because they don't know anything about this disease, and they don't know how to handle this challenge. And that's why I feel that whenever we are facing a challenge, we need to take a pause and ask, what is God trying to teach us? And when it came to myself, I realized that God was trying to sort of put me on my personal growth journey. He was pushing me on my personal growth journey. And that inspired me to, in fact, write my very first book called The Magic in You. In fact, it's right here. So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a
we
book
can
that I
see.
wrote when I was diagnosed with celiac disease, and when I was trying to heal myself, when my daughter was diagnosed. I promised myself that when my Diara gets better, I'm going to write about it. And that's the book I wrote, The Magic in You, Awaken Your Soul. It's about my journey, about empowering myself. I truly believe right knowledge plus right action equals to optimum health. And when you understand the power you hold to heal yourself, when you understand that we are limitless beings, and we anything is possible for us to achieve, that is when you can overcome any challenge that comes in your life. That's when you can overcome the fear, the anxiety, and the worry. And that's what guided me to literally say, I'm going to understand everything about this disease. Whatever it is, I want to understand every aspect of it, and maybe help as many people as I can in the future to understand celiac disease better. At the end of the day, I feel we all can only heal ourselves. A doctor can only guide us, but we can only heal ourselves. And the way to do that is empower yourself. Get all the knowledge you can. Take the right actions, because so many times, you're guided to take the right actions, but somehow we are not motivated enough to take the right action. And I truly believe that we all need help. Don't try to do things on your own. We are social beings. We are meant to be, in a community. We are meant to be there to help each other. So I truly believe that
Yeah.
don't ever feel alone and lonely. If you feel that you are mentally not doing well, go out there and seek help from the right sources so that you can help your mental health better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's so important to stay positive. Thank you so much, Miss Deepa, for joining me in this episode. We truly learned a lot from you. I learned a lot about functional medicine and the gut microbiome, dysbiosis, foods that we should have, the diet. So if anyone has any questions, there is a link that I will attach in the bio. So you can click on that, you can write the questions, and we'll forward it to Miss Deepa to answer them, and we'll help facilitate that. But yeah, thank you so much, Miss Deepa, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this episode.
I just want to end before we end. I just have one last thing to say, a
Sure.
last message for celiacs out there is that recent times, because I truly believe what we believe to be true is going to become our reality. So I really want to say it out. I want to put it out that there that, you know what, let's all start saying that celiac is curable, because isn't that the end goal? We just want that celiac is curable. If every celiac starts believing that celiac is curable, very soon maybe we can come out with a cure, and celiac can truly be curable. So let's all start believing, you know what, celiac is curable. Science has achieved so much, and science is capable of achieving everything. It all depends on what we believe to be true. When, like I said, when my daughter was diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis, and the doctor said she has to be on steroids for life, I did not take it to be my truth. And the same way, let's just put it out there: celiac disease is curable, and
Yeah.
in the future, maybe we can have that as our reality.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vara, for having me.